What's going on, guys? It's your boy Birds in the Trap MMA, and I'm back with another UFC 298 fight breakdown. Okay, today, as you can see, we're going to be going over the co-main event for UFC 298, the card taking place this weekend. I am ecstatic for this card, and let me get my camera going. What is up? Okay, man, this is a fight this is my second favorite fight on the card. I think I absolutely love Robert Whittaker. I love his fighting style, and I'm here to lay the law. All right, let's just get blunt with it. Okay, I'm here to set things straight because Robert Whittaker's last fight, it obviously left a bad taste in everyone's mouth, but Paulo Costa is being insanely overrated going into this matchup. I do see fans coming around to the fact that Paulo is not as amazing as we may all say, and by we I mean Instagram comments, alright, because I have never been the biggest Paulo Costa believer. But with that being said, guys, the first thing I want to be getting into is Paulo Costa and his big KO power, okay? Paulo Costa's had 4 UFC TKOs. Paulo Costa has never won a fight by knockout in the UFC, alright? I'm sure on the regional scene coming up, he's had some flatlines, you know what I mean? But in the UFC, when he's gotten to the UFC level, we've only seen him TKO guys. And what the first thing I'm going to be doing here in this video is I'm going to be breaking down all of Paulo Costa's TKOs and exposing them for what they are, alright? Because I haven't seen very many people touch on it. I've seen a lot of people talk about, oh, Paulo doesn't have the power like that. Done. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn off my camera because this slide has a lot of shit on it, alright? But let's talk about Paulo Costa's KO power. Alright, let's do it. Listen, Paulo Costa, he's cool, he's funny, he's a memer, okay? He's very funny to follow on Instagram. He's always posting funny shit. I can appreciate that, right? But like I said, the fans are realizing that his KO power is not exactly what it's meant to be, like how Joe Rogan would describe it, you know what I mean? He's just a marauder. He's just a destroyer. It's just when he touches you, guys go into another planet. That's not exactly true, okay? Let's get into it. The first one that we're going to be going with is we're going to be going left to right. Costa versus Hall. Big win for Costa at the time. A win that really put him on the map and got him into that top 5. It got him that fight with Romero. But, man, that was a 4-punch combo, and he dropped him with a body shot. Okay? Listen, I'm going to get into it when I do my pros and cons, but Costa has amazing body work, alright? I love Costa's body kicks. I love his body like shovel uppercuts. That's kind of what he hit on Hall. But that was a 4-punch combo. That was not a 1-punch drop, few ground and pound shots and you're over. That was a body shot that just kind of wilted Hall. Costa does have a good ability to make guys wilt, but it's a lot with his a lot of it is his body shots, you know what I mean? His next fight we're going to be looking at Costa versus Bangbose, I don't know. But there was literally no knockdown in this fight. Bangbose literally just slipped while throwing a kick and landed on his back, and then Paulo Costa ground and pound TKO'd him, and it still took him like 15-20 seconds, alright? Watch these fights back, guys. It literally still took him like 20 seconds to finish this fight. The ground and pound was sloppy. The shot selection wasn't great. You know, it's like as soon as he fell, Paulo was just like, oh, okay, go. You know what I mean? He wasn't really thinking that well, and I think that Paulo Costa, he just gets excited. You know what I mean? He gets excited and he just starts throwing the kitchen sink at you, and it leads to finishes like this one, alright? Because this was not some crazy knockout. This was a fucking slip to some sloppy punches on the ground, and the fight is stopped. Next one we're going to look at briefly, Costa versus Hendricks. This fight makes absolutely no sense. I've talked about this fight before because it makes no sense. But that's another body shot TKO, alright? Hendricks had no business being in this weight division, and Paulo still couldn't get him out of there cleanly. after the fight was called, Hendricks got a takedown. Watch this fight back, guys. Costa got taken down after the fight was stopped. And yeah, Hendricks still made it tough for Paulo. Now, not tough as in like, ooh, it was competitive back and forth. But, you know, it took till the second round. It wasn't a one-shot KO. It was a body shot KO. At least to my eyes. Okay? Maybe someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but I literally just watched it and it looked like a body shot to me. Now, yes, he was landing good cumulative damage on Hendricks' head before that, and maybe the body shot was just enough to get him to fall. But still, that's what it was. Alright, the final one. Costa versus McLellan. That was a 5-punch combination that started with a body kick. He started with the body. Now, yes, that is an amazing strategy. You should always go to the body in a fight. But these aren't one-punch KOs. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to actually break that down. I'm going to put my camera back on. I just wanted to actually break that down and make it clear that Paulo, this one-shot power, it's not there. You know what I mean? And his fight with Romero, where he was able to get a knockdown, has kind of shown to be a one-off. You know what I mean? That was the motivated, hungry title shot Paulo Costa. And, you know, you could still make the argument that he lost that fight. And for these fights right here, guys, this might sound a little crazy. I think you could make the argument that these were all early stoppages, okay? Now, was the opponent going to recover? Most likely not. In all of these cases, most likely not. But, hey, man, I've seen guys get cleaner KOs. I've seen fights go on for longer than they did here. So I think you could say these were all early stoppages and overall just not that impressive. So with that being said, guys, let's get into my next slide here where we're going to talk about our pros and cons list, okay? Now, this is something that I did in my last video and I really liked it. I used to do these a lot in my earlier videos, and I just kind of got away from it, and I don't know why. So I'm bringing them back here, okay? Let's get into the pros for Robert Whittaker. Fast-ass blitz, okay? That karate blitz is fast, and it's lethal. He may not have a ton of power on him, but it's the volume, it's the speed, it's the ferocity that he comes at you with that make it dangerous. Next thing is that 1-2 head kick combo. He's landed it on damn near everyone he's fought besides, you know, Izzy, and actually I do think he landed it on Dricus at least once. So that is an amazing combo in Whittaker's arsenal. He's gotten KOs with it. He's hurt guys with it. I believe did he knock down Jared Cannonier with it? Or did he, like, stumble him? I don't remember, but it's a very effective combo from Whittaker. It has to go into his pros. Everyone talks about it when you're talking about Whittaker for a reason. It's one of his best combos in his game. The next thing is that cardio and that experience. Those two can kind of be lumped together. The cardio, man. This guy's gone 5 rounds with Adesanya, 5 rounds with Romero, and he's taken damage in these fights and he's still going. He's won a ton of decisions across 5 rounds. Let's think about Kelvin Gastelum, you know what I mean? Darren Till, you know what I mean? These are main event fights that he won by decision with his cardio, obviously. He's fought way better guys, and he's beat guys that Paulo has lost to, okay? He's beat Marvin Vettori, who beat Paulo Costa somehow. You could make the argument that he beat Adesanya in their second fight. You could make that argument that 1-2-4 go to Whittaker. Not 1-2-4. I'm being stupid. 2-4-5. My bad. So that's my overall pros for Robert Whittaker. Now my cons. And by cons I mean con, because I can only think of one. And it's that chin. That chin may be a problem. He does get dropped. Not a whole lot, but a decent bit. You know what I mean? Till dropped him. Adesanya obviously dropped him in both fights. Fucking Romero's dropped him. DDP dropped him. But he's coming off of the loss to DDP, but that wasn't a very concussive TKO loss. You know what I mean? That was he got sat down with a jab, and not Paulo, Dricus just kind of exploded on him, and the shot that really made Whittaker fall was a body shot. All right, so The only thing I can think of is that chin, and it still might not be horrible. We don't know for sure, but you can call me crazy, and listen, if you can think of more cons with Whittaker, please do list them, because there could be something hiding in plain sight that I'm just forgetting about, but I think it really is just that chin. So with that being said, let's look at Paulo Costa's pros and cons, okay? Like I mentioned earlier, Costa has great body work. Whittaker has better. Alright, but it's still a pro. Amazing body kicks, alright? Very strong punches to the body. When he does his like shovel uppercut to the body, that's a shot that hurts. Like I said, doesn't have KO power, but he does have power to hurt the body, okay? That's a fact. Paulo does have that dog in him, a little bit, kinda. You know, he's able to go through adversity when fighting Yoel Romero. He's able to go through adversity when fighting Luke Rockhold, which is a con, actually. You're making it close with Luke Rockhold. That's not good. And those are kind of the only instances where you can say he has that dog in him. Maybe in the Vettori fight, you could say, like, oh, Paulo's got that dog in him. But, you know, Paulo was doing everything he could to win that fight, as in not cutting weight. So that's kind of it for Paulo Costa's pros, okay? Other than that, he's just kind of a big slugger, all right? Cons: lacks KO power. We obviously just discussed that in detail. I'm not going to get too into that. He's not too disciplined, in my opinion. I think Paulo is a Instagram fighter, if you will. I think he likes to hit pads. I think he likes to post it. I don't think Paulo is getting better. He's not someone who's constantly looking to improve his game. How much better has Paulo gotten in the last few years? Not that much better. He's pulled out of a ton of fights, you know? The cardio is a problem. The cardio, you know, he looked like shit against Rockhold. Sure, that fight was at altitude. It was in Salt Lake City. And I'm sure that did play a factor, because it played a factor on everyone on that card. But the cardio, man, didn't look the best in the Vettori fight. I think he did win one of the later rounds, but still, he looked pretty gassed by the end of it. And he lost to Vettori. That is a con. Vettori is a guy that I don't look at as a elite fighter, okay? You know what I mean? That's a guy who just, you know, he's your average middleweight contender, all right? And what am I about to get into? Well, Paulo can beat your average Whittaker can beat your average middleweight contender. He just can. Let's get into the next slideshow here. And I'm going to move my camera somewhere where all my text is available. Okay. Of course we need to talk about Robert's last fight. We can't not. And I think that Robert truly underestimated DDP, just like all of you and me, okay? I said Whittaker was going to win that fight pretty easily. You know, I was saying DDP fights like he's drunk. But it's that funky style that has something about it that works, okay? It just works. Funnily enough, and as weird as it looks, I don't think Whittaker was ready for the power and the hunger that Dricus presents. And DDP is not the average middleweight, okay? DDP is a sitting champion right now, okay? That's not an average middleweight. Whether you agree with that decision or not, for Dricus to be champion, that's your belief, but this is on paper true. Dricus is the champion. Paulo is not championship caliber, in my opinion. He's like I said, man, he's an Instagram fighter. But let's talk about some more pros for Whittaker. But of course, with Whittaker is a guy who makes his opponents hate fighting. Like, seriously. The best example that I can think of with that is on the screen right now. It's that Marvin Vettori fight. By the end of that fight, Vettori looked like he wanted to retire. He did not look motivated to be a fighter. Whittaker did that to him. Whittaker put it on him, you know what I mean? And he beat him so convincingly that he knew there was no chance he was getting that decision. When Izzy beats Marvin Vettori, Vettori's still delusional enough to think, it might go to me, it should go to me, you know what I mean? When Whittaker beats Vettori, Vettori knows. Vettori knows. Robert has a deep gas tank. Okay, I mentioned this in my last slide. The cardio from Whittaker is off the charts. and that's not something that I think is gonna diminish right away. It could get worse over time, but Robert is still young, and he may not have the power, but it's the speed and the volume that he hits you with that just make guys wilt. All right, and not even wilt to quit. Robert Whittaker makes guys give up on themselves. Robert Whittaker is a reaper, literally. He doesn't make guys crumble into a shell and get TKO'd. He'll make sure you're there, but he's gonna make sure you give up on yourself and that you know you're not winning this decision. So, with all of that being said, guys, as if it needs to be said, I am going with Robert Whittaker to win this fight via dominant unanimous decision, likely a 30-27. However, a 29-28 is possible, okay? Paulo is dangerous in that first round. However, I think that even if Robert loses the first round, the second 2 rounds are going to be too dominant and too clear-cut for Whittaker, that the main takeaway from the fight will be, oh yeah, Whittaker got hurt early, but he beat his ass. You know what I mean? And that's even if Paulo can hurt him. I'm giving Paulo the benefit of the doubt there, all right? But Whittaker's defense, he's just too skilled. He's seen everything in the octagon, and I don't think that Costa is going to have anything that he's not expecting, okay? I like Whittaker's mindset going into this fight. He's been talking about it on interviews, and I mean, what else can I say, man? Unless Robert's chin is truly in the dust, it's buried 6 feet deep, Whittaker's going to win this fight, guys. Unanimous decision. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I've got my Merab and Henry Cejudo breakdown. That's going to be coming out tomorrow. And on Friday, I will be doing my full card predictions, okay? Leave a like, subscribe, and have a good day.